Soulful sounds spilling into Kitchener's downtown core tonight as hundreds of people pile in for night one of the 26th annual Bluesfest. Good evening. More on that in a moment, but first, dozens of people on the edge of homelessness have been left asking where to next after the province cleared out a camper-filled carpool lot off Highway 401 in Cambridge yesterday. Today, it's still unclear where the former residents will go, and experts are wondering why the eviction happened in the first place. Here's CTV's Jeff Pickle.
Yeah, we'll be heading back shortly.
After a night at a Walmart parking lot, Ruben and Jeremy are back at the carpool lot.
We've been awake the last 2 days stressing about where we're going to go and how we're going to find a place because we don't want to lose what little we do have.
The two left yesterday voluntarily but came back today. They say their plan is for a short stay here before leaving for a forested area roughly an hour away.
Realistically, it's a lot better of a long-term solution. And we'll be out of everyone's hair because we'll be out in the middle of a forest.
Yeah, we won't be bothering anybody anymore.
Ruben, who works full-time as a welder, says it will make their lives harder in every way.
It wasn't a perfect solution, but this was the best we had, apart from driving an hour and a half north.
The men struggling to make sense of why they were kicked out.
Well, it's sad because, I didn't really think the community hated us that much.
Also struggling with the rationale is Laurier professor Laura Pinn.
Shelters are full right now, overflow is full, and really what we should be trying to do is find solutions that help people stay in the shelter that they have, rather than adding to the system burden.
Yesterday, we heard from neighbors upset about the mess and taxpayer money spent to clean up.
I can understand when someone's down to luck, but does that mean they have a right to then have a CCAN here that's going to cost taxpayers dollars, have someone clean up more, so the city started hiring people to come clean up more?
According to Penn, people with the means to live in a trailer create the least burden to taxpayers. Studies show staying in a shelter can cost over $5,000 per month.
Having someone enter the homelessness system, staying at an emergency shelter, staying at an overflow motel, that is going to be the most expensive way of dealing with homelessness and the least satisfactory.
Pinn says it's unlikely anyone's situation will improve after the MTO eviction.
They could end up tenting or living rough. And then there can be a spin-off effect to that as well, where, folks that do have jobs may find it difficult or impossible to keep those jobs because of their living situation.
Yesterday, the people living in two trailers refused to leave and remain on site Thursday. We were told the OPP had been called in, but the OPP say our members did not interact with any individuals involved in today's removal and were not present during the event. Officer showed up today over a license plate complaint, but no action was taken. Forced further away from family and work, Ruben and Jeremy say they will continue on the path back to a more normal life.
This was a good solution. And it wasn't a great solution, it wasn't a perfect solution, but this was the best we had.
Jeff Pickle, CTV News, Cambridge.
A warning, this next story contains video of an assault that some viewers may find disturbing. The legal battle over a Guelph police officer's future is far from over. After being told to resign or face dismissal over his on-duty conduct, Constable Corey McArthur is once again appealing the decision. CTV's Spencer Turcott reports.
Constable Corey McArthur has once again appealed an order for him to resign or be dismissed from the Guelph Police Service. It comes after a second penalty hearing wrapped last month regarding a 2016 incident that saw McArthur elbow a 17-year-old boy who was handcuffed to a hospital stretcher. A notice of appeal from McArthur reads, "The disposition of dismissal was unreasonable, harsh, excessive, and disproportionate." It goes on to say the adjudicator failed to appropriately consider the mitigating effect of the appellant's guilty pleas and acknowledgement that the force used was excessive. McArthur's legal team questioned why the opinions of one forensic psychiatrist were accepted over another forensic psychiatrist who supported McArthur's return to policing. His lawyers hope they'll be granted another hearing.
Can there be a second appeal? The answer is yes. He has a right to that appeal.
Here's why. McArthur isn't appealing the same decision twice. His first successful appeal in 2022 erased the original penalty decision, which resulted in a new hearing. Since the most recent hearing again resulted in dismissal, he is now exercising his right to appeal the new decision. Ian Scott, the former director of the Special Investigations Unit, has no involvement in this case, but he has more than 30 years of experience with other police disciplinary matters. He doesn't expect the Ontario Police Arbitration and Adjudication Commission to grant a third hearing for this case.
Theoretically, they could send it back again. I would be extremely surprised if they were to do that again, because they should be well aware of the history. I mean, this matter must have been litigated, relitigated. It's time to close it.
In the meantime, McArthur remains suspended with pay, a status he's held since 2016. Scott says that's troubling given McArthur earned more than $130,000 last year, while the disciplinary process has stretched on through multiple hearings and delays.
The second hearing took, I mean, there was an adjournment of a year. 1 year in the middle of the hearing, went from July 2024 to July 2025 in the middle of a hearing. That to me is unprecedented.
A lengthy process that continues to carry a cost for Guelph taxpayers. Spencer Turcotte, CTV News, Guelph.
Waterloo Regional Police are looking for a pair of suspects in a case of bank card fraud in Kitchener. Police releasing this security camera footage of two individuals they're hoping to speak to. A report came in about a fraudulent use of a bank card on August 1st. Police say the card was used to purchase more than $400 worth of merchandise from a business on Highland Road West. Anyone with information is asked to contact investigators or Crime Stoppers. Well, for the second time in the span of a few weeks, Toronto police have arrested an employee at the hospital for sick children on criminal charges related to child sexual abuse. The Sex Crimes Unit launched their investigation back in October of 2024. They're accusing a suspect of contacting a 15-year-old victim through social media and chat applications, and then making inappropriate comments and sending explicit images. Police executed a search warrant last week in the Don Mills and 401 area. 55-year-old Antonio Alvin de la Cruz was arrested and charged with offenses including luring a person under 18 years of age by means of telecommunication and accessing and possessing child sexual abuse and exploitation material. He appeared in court, and police are asking anyone with information to get in touch. SickKids Hospital says De La Cruz was a member of its housekeeping team who was placed on leave and subsequently resigned. The hospital called the situation, quote, deeply disturbing, particularly given the recent criminal charges involving a SickKids physician. 44-year-old Dr. Dylan Disanika was arrested and charged with accessing and possessing child sexual abuse and exploitation material. SickKids added in a statement, to our knowledge, the two employees did not know or work with one another. Toronto Police Service has indicated that there is no evidence linking the alleged criminal charges to the employee's work at SickKids. The hospital also said it's calling in external experts to review its current processes, controls, and safeguards preventing child harm. The future of a proposed boundary change around the Brantford Municipal Airport is now on hold. The City of Brantford and the County of Brant have paused talks on a proposal to bring the airport and 848 acres of land into the city. The deal, reached in May, would have brought the city-owned airport within Brantford's boundaries. But officials say there isn't enough time to finalize the agreement or give the public a chance to review it before the restricted period leading up to municipal elections begins. As a result, two public meetings scheduled for next week have also been cancelled. The county says the plan was meant to align the airport with the city's ownership and help secure its long-term financial future. Well, Bluesfest is back in downtown Kitchener. Its 26th year kicking off this evening in Victoria Park. Thousands of people from all walks of life are expected to attend with a jam-packed lineup of local musical talent. And let's go to CTV's Karis Mapp, who is back from Bluesfest and joins us now live. Karis, you were in Victoria Park tonight for the kickoff charity concert, and as someone who has yet to attend the festival, I have to ask, how was it?
You know, Alexandra, despite growing up in the region, this was my first time attending, as you said, and I absolutely understand why it's something people look forward to every year. Tonight's concert is the only ticketed event for the weekend, and all proceeds going towards supporting the festival in the years to come. Bluesfest is back in downtown Kitchener for its 26th year. Music lovers gathered in Victoria Park Thursday evening for the kickoff charity concert.
Every dollar of profit gets plowed right back into this festival for next year. We spend piles of money on infrastructure. As you can imagine, there's a new video system at this stage.
A big act to follow after last year's milestone anniversary, but organizers are confident this year won't disappoint.
It's more about sea to sea to sea. We're trying to take all 3 of the Canadian coasts to have people that are inside that large watershed bringing their version of blues, roots, music to the audience.
This is a big, unique event in Canada. It's not just Ontario. And this, we all got to be proud of this, right? So if I can be a part of it, I'm thrilled.
Hundreds showing up for the ticketed event, with thousands more expected over the weekend from all around the world.
There's a contingent of 12 that are from eastern North America, as far south as Georgia, and all the way up halfway to the Arctic Circle, and they're converging here in Kitchener this year for the event.
I just met a couple from Nova Scotia. They've come up for the blues.
Attendees can look forward to over 50 acts across the downtown core.
I love music. I've loved music since I was a kid.
Accessibility is key, with all remaining shows free.
It's one of the best deals Kitchener has for entertainment for a weekend, free entertainment. You can't beat that.
The event continuing to expand the genre of blues, ensuring there's something for all to enjoy.
I myself, as an artist, have tried to work rock music into the blues because I like it a little heavier, and to be accepted for that here is great.
There's more music to come starting tomorrow at 3 p.m. in front of Kitchener City Hall. The festival runs all weekend before wrapping up Sunday evening. Alexandra.
That looks like a lot of fun. I just might have to check it out this weekend. Thanks so much. From flames to foster homes.
We found out what was going on, and then within a few days we had planned to take some dogs out.
CTV's Colton Weens brings us the story of a 5-week-old puppy named Aurora who made a long trek to safety. But first, taking a look at our satellite radar, some cloud coverage and fog overnight, depending on where you are, and you may see a shower or two as well. There's also a risk of a thunderstorm overnight tonight. Of course, that's due in part to the warm overnight lows we've been seeing. Right now, we're sitting at 21 here in Waterloo region, 23 in Toronto, 23 in Windsor and Ridgetown as well, 19 in Goderich, 17 in Wyerton. And here's a look from outside our studios here in Kitchener's Sports World area from earlier tonight. There's clouds, the calm before the chance of storms. Stay with us. CTV News continues in 2 minutes. Game over for a Kitchener retail icon. The Toys R Us on Fairway Road has closed for good, marking the end of decades in the community. The closure follows months of corporate restructuring and intense pressure from competitors. Here's CTV's Heather Senerin.
Everything must go at the Kitchener Toys R Us store, but some things they were giving away for free.
We got a headband.
Jason Bard is shopping with his kids, but says being at Toys R Us takes him back.
Even after this place closes, I'm going to be a Toys R Us kid for life.
The Fairway Road South store will be shutting its doors for good Thursday night.
I've been here many years with my own children, and to see it close down, it's kind of sad to see.
A dose of nostalgia for many before it's gone.
It's really iconic, and there's stuff that I buy here that I can't get anywhere else.
Shoppers say it's slim pickings of what's left inside.
Empty shelves, yeah. There's not much. It's just plush toys, a few Barbies, but that's pretty much it.
Since a for sale sign went up at the Kitchener store late last year, many knew the end was near. This shopper became friends with staff over the years.
Yeah, they're just kind of shocked, surprised, and some of them are kind of like unemployed, so they kind of don't know what their next steps are going to be.
More than 50 stores closed in the last 2 years, including the Guelph location. In February, the toy retailer announced it filed for creditor protection after facing a succession of lawsuits from unpaid suppliers and landlords across the country. Court documents say the retailer struggled to cope with inflation, rising labor costs, and a shift toward e-commerce.
Toys R Us did not change its business model to basically to see the shift of consumer behavior, and that's why they're here.
According to their website, the Kitchener store was one of 8 still open in the country until now. Toys R Us first came to Canada just over 40 years ago. Heather Centerin, CTV News Kitchener.
Waterloo Region's housing market is showing signs of cooling off, with home sales taking a double-digit drop last month. The Cornerstone Association of Realtors says sales fell more than 12% in July compared to June and were down 10% from this time last year. The average price of a home also slipped, now sitting at just over $706,000. Single-family homes continue to lead the market at an average at about $813,000, while condos were the most affordable option at just over $353,000. Waterloo remained the most expensive city in the region last month, with the average home selling for about $737,000. Still to come on CTV News, plowing through the competition. Sights and sounds of this year's truck rodeo that saw snowplow drivers face off in a friendly competition.
Scattered showers expected to continue through the overnight hours and into your Friday. But will your weekend be a washout? Those details coming up with your full forecast. Stay with us.
Now, dusk is usually a time to relax and maybe get ready for bed or for the next day, but outside our studios in Kitchener's Sports World area along King Street East, there were some busy bees. The pollinators were out, along with construction crews still working away as the sun set. Now, it was a beautiful evening for a stroll, but I have a feeling we may want to keep a poncho handy as we head into our Friday. Let's check in with CTV's Ashley Bacon now to find out what's in store.
Well, I hope you've had a great day. We've had a little bit of everything weather-wise. The sun was out. It was certainly hot and humid. And, of course, lots of scattered showers. If you were outdoors today, I hope that you didn't get caught in them. But don't put those umbrellas away just yet. Those showers expected to continue through the overnight and into your Friday. At times could be heavy, and there is always a chance for a pop-up thunderstorm. So do take care as you head out through the next couple of days, because we could see on and off rain leading into Saturday as well. Tonight, we are expecting a low of 17, so it will be a little bit of a hot, sticky night tonight. Fog patches developing around midnight and a northerly wind of around 30 kilometers an hour. Now, tomorrow, things expected to heat right back up, 26, the expected daytime high. A UV index of 5, which is considered moderate to high, so make sure you are taking care of your skin if you are spending time outdoors, even if it is raining, with a humidex value closer to 33. So it's definitely going to be a bit sticky out there. And as a reminder, for this time of year, we should be sitting around 26 as a daytime high, 14 as an overnight low. So for our daytime highs, we're right there, right where we should be, nowhere near the record that was set back in 1918 at 38.3. And as we take a closer look at our 7-day forecast, the good news is by Sunday, the sun makes a return. A high of 26 expected for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, but that chance of rain, again, continuing through Friday and into your Saturday. In Lambton, Kent, Essex, it's going to be a little bit warmer there through the next few days. The overnight lows not really dipping below more than 18 on Tuesday, so it's going to be a hot week ahead, especially with overnight conditions. 27 tomorrow, 29 for Saturday and Sunday, with a mix of sun and cloud making a return on Sunday. And lastly, in southern Georgian Bay, things slightly cooler there. 24 the expected daytime high tomorrow. A risk of thunderstorms expected. Showers continuing into Saturday, potentially Sunday and Monday, but temperatures far more comfortable at 26, 25, and 24. Alexandra.
Sometimes we need a little rain after so many days of sunshine. All right, Ashley, thanks for this. Wildfires in northern Ontario continue to force families and animals out of the region. While many pets are in foster homes near evacuated areas, others, including strays and surrendered animals, have fewer options. To help with the influx up north, rescues are giving cats and dogs a second chance here in southern Ontario. But CTV's Colton Weens tells us it's been a struggle to keep up.
I love this particular rescue that I'm working with, and this was a cause that spoke to me. And how could I say no?
This is Aurora, about 5 weeks old and currently being fostered by Stephanie Mealy in Kitchener.
She's fantastic. She's a very sweet girl, and she's very social.
She's just one of the many animals brought to the care of Northern Connection Dog Rescue around Brantford as wildfires up north keep pushing animals out.
About 2 weeks ago, it was all very quick. We found out what was going on, and then within a few days, we had planned to take some dogs out.
The evacuations and the fires have certainly created more of a crisis situation right now.
Liz Sauer with New Caller Collective has also been helping take animals in. She says local groups around Thunder Bay are fostering pets so they can be returned to their families when possible, while strays and surrendered animals have come south.
We took in about 70 animals this week. Not us ourselves, it was a group of 16 rescues, and then 2 weeks ago 110 animals came down that went to about 19 rescues. So we don't typically see a transport every 2 weeks. Usually it's sort of every month. So there is certainly an increase.
A lack of access to spay and neutering in the north has always been an issue for overpopulation, which Sauer says hasn't helped in these trying times. But while these rescues do rely heavily on donations and help, the amount of people wanting to get involved has also increased.
We're really seeing it. We're seeing people step up to foster who hadn't really considered it before or asking how they can help. So it's been really rewarding to see the community step up.
As for Aurora, she'll be staying in Southern Ontario going forward, thanks to the loving care of the agencies helping in the province.
Mealy hasn't decided whether she's going to keep Aurora or put her up for adoption, but if she is put up for adoption, it'll be in about 2.5 weeks, and Mealy will also be the one deciding where she goes. Colton Wee, CTV News, Kitchener.
How cute. Stay with us. CTV News continues in 2 minutes. Well, finally for us tonight, we may still be a ways away from winter, but snowplow operators from across Waterloo Region pulled out the big guns for their annual truck rodeo. The annual event is put on by the transportation professionals of Waterloo Region and brings together more than 24 snowplow drivers to test their skills with a little friendly competition.
This is kind of our version of all-star competition.
This is an annual truck rodeo. Today, all of the best operators are getting together just to show their skills, exercise safe plowing practices, and compete for what is an opportunity to go to the championships in Owen Sound this year. Course here has 6 to 7 stations per year. A lot of them simulate movements with the tandem axle dump truck, plow and wing. So a lot of different skills where visibility is limited and operators need to know the size of their equipment, know how it maneuvers, and know how to position themselves accurately in order to operate effectively.
A lot of this you'll find actually does come in handy, especially like the backing up, moving around tight corners, vehicles that we always run into. This stuff here helps you just hone your skills, so it helps you get into those real world situations. That'll help you when you're out in the middle of a snowstorm.
I think this past winter just showed us how much value can be seen in the operation, how important the equipment is to us and how it functions. So it just showed how valuable the operators are. The skills they have to get on the road and the commitment they make.
It's a lot of long hours, a lot of overtime, sleepless days because I'm on night shift, but you know, it feels good that you're getting out there to clean the roads off and keep everybody safe. I got kids that got to go to school and making sure that the routes and the regional roads are taken care of.
Every yard, every municipality has different struggles, whether you're going from gravel roads to busy roads, urban to rural. So the more that I think people get involved in this type of stuff, the more it'll let everybody know what we go through on a day-to-day basis during those winter months.
Practice makes perfect before they hit the road for real in just a few months. And we mentioned it in our 6 o'clock show, but the winner of that truck rodeo was Wayne Weidman from the city of Waterloo. Congratulations. And that's our time. Thank you for checking in and staying up with us. You can find news anytime over at ctvnewskitchener.ca or on our CTV News app. I'm Alexandra Hollick. Have a good night, and we'll see you back here tomorrow. Take care.